walk, Wednesday words, there are two corrections in the Wednesday words you're about to see. One of them is on Sunday, May 9th, we're going to worship upstairs in the church sanctuary at 10 a.m. And there'll be a Mother's Day anthem. I did not know that when I recorded the following words.
Hi, these are my Wednesday words in the beginning of May 2021. As I sit here in the Associate Pastor Study, I really like this space for the Wednesday words. You may wonder about the pictures behind me. That's my granddaughter Mila, picture's almost a year old, and then granddaughter Eleanor. And then right above my head is Eleanor as a several-day-old infant. I need pictures of Aria, my newest granddaughter, and I'll get those printed and framed before the next time I record here. I have even more good news about my family. My daughter was engaged to be married 2 weeks ago. She said yes. Nancy and I and Annalise's brothers and family were able to be there when she was proposed to. It was a wonderful, elaborate setup by her then boyfriend, now fiance. And he dropped to one knee and surprised her. She said yes. And we who were hiding came out of hiding and came running towards her. And Annalise turned and saw her mom and ran towards her and hugged her. There was hardly a dry eye in the place. My eyes certainly weren't. It was very special. Family is very special. And I want to talk a little bit about that today, mainly to recognize that we don't always have fairy tale happy endings and surprises and good times in our families. And to just very frankly acknowledge that. Mother's Day is coming up on Sunday. And that is a very hard holiday for many folks, for a whole variety of reasons. I think sometimes we in the church want to force people to smile or force people to talk about how wonderful their mothers are on Mother's Day, and there's often pain, tragedy, illness, for a whole host of reasons. You know, there are people with infertility issues and women who never had children. There are women who suffered, families who suffered miscarriage and fetal demise and other issues, babies who passed away. There are adults whose adult children have died. And lastly, there are many of us whose parents have died, whose moms have died. So Mother's Day is a hard holiday. And I want to acknowledge that as we go into this Sunday. Pastor Ron is preparing a sermon for Mother's Day about Jesus. And he usually preaches about Jesus. And I'm grateful for that. For we Presbyterians, people of the book, often preach the Bible and not secular holidays. I'm grateful for that for us. And because sometimes Mother's Day is a day people don't come to church because they're forced to smile or have bad memories of mom or are heartbroken over a death. And I just want to say that and acknowledge that and hope you'll come to church May 9th, whatever your situation is. It's better that we worship together and praise God. May 9th is going to be a special day. You know, I haven't talked much about it, but I was estranged from my own mother for a very long time, most of my adult life, by her choice. And respecting her privacy, my privacy, I'm not going to talk much about that, except to say that I'm very glad I reached out and found her and tried to overcome that estrangement in the years before she died. She did die, I guess, 4 years ago. It all runs together. And it's heartbreaking. It's very hard. Um, Often when you hear me speak of my mother, I'm actually speaking of my stepmother, who raised me, who married my father um, a long time ago, and I think 45 years ago. And they had a wonderful 25 years together before my dad died. And then my stepmom really was like a mom to me and wonderful. But I still had this ache in my heart for the woman who birthed me. And on the advice of several friends and a counselor, I went and found her. And, you know, Mom was a very broken person in mind and spirit, and she just couldn't handle the intensity of family relationship for very long. I would drive 10 hours and visit her for about an hour, and that was enough for her. That was as much as she could take of family and relationship. Sometimes I'd go away, maybe go shopping for her, or go off and have a meal by myself, and then come back with the butter pecan ice cream that she liked, or some other thing, and give that to her. She struggled in a lot of ways, and I would go visit her, and I'm so glad that I did. Respecting her desire for privacy, for aloneness, in her own brokenness. I'm rambling, but her situation was hard to talk about. But I want to acknowledge that there are a lot of people with broken family relationships, even pastors. There are folks that for whom Mother's Day is hard. So we're all in this together, and I want y'all to pray for each other and pray for the church, pray for me, although I'm very much healed and recovered from that estrangement and from my mother's death, and then 2 years later my stepmother's death. I guess I have a lot going on regarding Mother's Day, but I bring that up, and I want you to come and let's worship God together and be a part of this, but be sensitive to one another. Mother's Day is a hard time. Praise God. This is Walk. These have been my Wednesday words in the first week of May. God bless.